Hey there, welcome to the UkeStuff channel and welcome to this full UkeGuide review of this instrument. This is my LoPrinzi AC-AR-C concert ukulele. It is made by Donna LoPrinzi, one of the few female luthiers that I know who is in Florida. LoPrinzi has a few things going for it. Donna's dad was asked by Herb Oda Sr. or Oda-san to make ukuleles and liked it, and that spurred all of their ukulele creations. And these are carried at some very reputable dealers around the world. They're also, for a luthier created instrument, very affordable. So, for example, a Mayamoe starts at $15.50. This one, I believe, would sell for $7.25 according to their website that I've recently looked at. So, what we're going to do in this video is, first of all, we'll go over some subjective categories that I look at with all instruments. Then I'll go over the specifications, and then I'll summarize the instrument and give it a UkeGuide rating out of 5 possible ukuleles. Now, before we begin, let me also remind you that if you want to support the work on this channel, there are 3 things you can do. First of all, you can like this video. Second, you can subscribe to this channel and its sister channel, the Uke Playlist channel. And third, you can always buy me a cup of coffee to say thank you for making this content at www.buymeacoffee.com/UkeStuff. All right, let's begin with the subjective categories. In terms of cost, this one is $725. Now, that seems like a lot for an instrument, but in the world of luthier hand-built instruments, that is a great bargain today in 2025. You can see their pricing right on their website, which is www.agostinoloprinzi.com. Now, in terms of value, well, I think you already know this. This is an exceptional value for a luthier-built instrument with the level of playability that it has, which we'll get to. In terms of build quality, there are points here where you can see that this was a hand-built instrument, and things may not be totally perfect everywhere, every place, but it is a super clean and well-built instrument. The 5-piece neck and other things. It is gorgeous. We'll get to appearance in just a moment. One of the things we do in these videos is I let you see what's happening on the inside of the instrument. That doesn't mean good or bad, but it lets you see the care with which an instrument has been built. I call this the internal Uke Cam, although it's just an endoscope that I record on my iPad. So here we go. Going into the instrument, looking down, you can see a very clean traditional build. You can see the tail block, you can see the notch kerfing, you can see the bracing on the back, down the middle, and if I move back just a touch, you can even see the bridge plate there. You can see the vertical braces going down the instrument, and just an overall really clean build on the inside. Let's look at the upper bout. Now with the upper bout, there's not a lot of room here, but you can see there's the neck block, maybe just a drop of glue there on that brace that runs down the back, but super clean, super excellent clean build on the inside. And that's our quick look at the AC-AR-C LoPrinzi Cherry Concert Ukulele. Also, want to say that the build quality is that this one did come with the Graphtec Tonal tuners. They haven't caused any problems for me or the previous owner that had it, but I do know that some people experienced breaking of these tuners. No problems, but new LoPrinzis come with Goto UPTs on them. Now, in terms of appearance, actually, this is really pretty plain. Now, if there's any criticism, it's that the cherry wood itself is not that exciting. Now, it's pretty. The cherry is pretty, but it's not exciting. It doesn't have all the flaming or whatever of other sorts of hardwoods. But you do have the added abalone rosette, and of course, you've got the stripe down the neck and on the front, and that's kind of it. So I think that's what the AR means. So the AC would be the Model A, C would be cherry, AR I think is abalone rosette, and C means custom because you had to customize that you're going to get that rosette with the purchase price of the instrument. In terms of availability, if you want to buy one of these, I think it's about a 2 to 3 month wait. So you would actually specify on their website what you wanted to order, and then they would build it for you, or Donna would build it for you in 2 to 3 months' time. I think that's accurate looking online. Now, in terms of playability, this is one of the nicest ukuleles I've played. In fact, I just recorded a video that I'm going to post later talking about different neck shapes, and this is right up there. Now, if you've watched this channel, you know I don't really love C-shaped thick necks. I like more of a D shape and a thinner neck. For me, it's just easier to play. Don't know why, but it just is. I don't know if everyone feels that way. I'm sure some people like the thick C-shaped neck, but I really think that more companies and more luthiers should be doing thinner necks like this. So it's not a pure D shape, sort of like a Mayamoe, but it's more rounded, but it's still thin. It still feels great. It has a wider nut than you typically get on a 35 millimeter import ukulele, and the action is set up perfectly. So this is a joy to play, and it's one of the things that makes it really hard to potentially sell. This is one of the instruments that I'm currently considering selling just because it doesn't get playing time with some of the other instruments that I have. So yeah, it is a wonderful to play instrument. You could play it all the time and just be so happy with it as just a playing experience. Now, in terms of sound quality, this I think is the only knock on the instrument itself. It's not a loud instrument. It's a warm sound, but it's not a big boomy sound. So if you compare this to maybe like the Martin sound or the Kualoha sound or even Kamaka's sound, Kanalea's sound, those instruments are going to be louder and fuller. So it does lean towards a bright sound. It is balanced. There's no harmonics that jump out at you, but they play with each other a little bit. You can hear some shimmer in the sound, and the sustain is pretty good. Let's see. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, somewhere around 5 seconds of sustain on it. So the sound is good. It's just not stellar. It's not loud and, just boomy, which is what your ear sort of gets used to. Now, Cherry may not be known for that. LoPrinzi does make other instruments, but if you just want a sweet sounding, nice sounding instrument just to play, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. So I'm not going to say it's a bad sound. It's just more quiet, and it's a touch towards bright, and it's just not super resonant in terms of just overall sound quality. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. It is what it is. Another thing I do in these videos is I let you see what I'm hearing by playing the instrument into the app Tonal Energy Tuner and let you see what's happening with the harmonic energy. Here we go. So that appears to me to be a very balanced tone with some good sustain. It's just not a boisterous, super resonant tone. All right, now that we've looked at subjective categories, let's get into the specifications. It is a concert ukulele with a scale length of 14.9375 inches. I understand that LoPrinzi does make a larger concert as well. This is just their standard concert. Some people call it undersized. Maybe the body is a little smaller than other concerts. It has 19 frets with 14 to the body, and it does have side position markers. It is a standard double bout ukulele, and the top, back, and sides are all made out of solid cherry. The fretboard is made out of rosewood, as is the bridge, which is a slotted bridge, very Martin-like with that bridge down there. It does not have a radius fretboard. The nut and saddle appear to be bone. One of the things I noticed about the saddle is that this saddle has an edge like this, that the strings come down, which is kind of a neat design. I have not seen that with other manufacturers. So the saddle sort of has this ledge, the strings go over and then down and are pulled into the bridge. The finish is a matte or satin finish. The overall length is 23.25 inches, so a little bit more short than a traditional concert, and the weight is 1 pound, 0.2 ounces, very light and well balanced. The tuners on these, again, are the Graphtec Tunaleles, but current versions of this instrument would come with Gotoh UPTs. The action at the first fret is 0.48, which is like spot on. The action at the 12th fret is 2.39, which is like perfection. Very easy to play. So with the neck shape, which we'll get to again, and that action, just a joy to play. The nut width is 36.8 millimeters, so a little bit wider than your standard concert. The space between strings is also wider than your standard concert. It's 9.1 millimeters between each string, which means 30 millimeters G to A, so a little bit more wide string spacing as well. So if you're a person with larger hands, this might be a concert for you as well. And the final measurement is the depth of the neck at the 3rd fret, and I'm getting a measurement of 18.7 millimeters from the top of the strings to the bottom of the neck at the 3rd fret. So it is a very thin D-shaped neck, which I really enjoy playing, and is part of the reason why it is hard to let this instrument go. All right, now that we've talked about the subjective categories and the specifications, let's summarize the instrument and give it a UkeGuide rating out of 5 possible ukuleles. This is my LoPrinzi Concert Cherry, which means the Model A Cherry with the rosette added as a custom feature. So with this instrument, it's an instrument that I love dearly. I love to play it, but it just isn't being played enough with the other instruments that I own. So it really should go to someone that will be able to play it more. The ukuleles made by LoPrinzi was influenced by Herb Oda Sr., who's known as Oda-san, who approached the creator of LoPrinzi, Agostino LoPrinzi, and said, hey, could you make an ukulele? And he did. And as a result, we have LoPrinzi ukuleles today, and Agostino's daughter, Donna, now is the luthier that makes this. And it's wonderful that we have a female luthier in the space that is often so dominated by male luthiers. So I like that part of it as well. Donna does great work, and the setup on this instrument is stellar. The neck shape is stellar. The action is stellar. The nut width and string spacing is stellar. This instrument is a true joy to play, and it makes it really hard to even consider selling it. The negative on this instrument, really there's only two. One is that the cherry isn't that inspiring. But if you don't like cherry, you could buy another tone wood to have your instrument made out of. And the other is that this instrument itself, it's a nice, warm, lovely sound, but it's not a booming resonant sound like some of the other instruments that I have. So that's probably another reason why I don't play it as much as the others. Nothing wrong with the sound, but I'm just so used to that big booming sound on some of the other instruments. I guess the other issue might be these tuners. So the Tunaleles, they've been really negatively panned in the ukulele community and continue to be so, even though these and the other Tunaleles that I own on my instruments have worked just fine. But some people have experienced breakage with these and have to replace them. LoPrinzi now makes these with Gotoh tuners, so you would not have that issue and the instrument would not ship with those. So I think it's an affordable, good-looking, amazing playing instrument with good sound. Not exceptional sound, but it's good sound. And if you're looking for an instrument, this would be a great one to go with if you're looking for a luthier-built instrument. Affordable, great to play. So what rating would I give it? This one's going to get a 5 out of 5. I played with giving it a 4 out of 5 because of the lack of the booming sound. But you know what? The tone is beautiful. And if you needed more sound, you could always put a pickup in it and amplify it if you needed that. So no, I'm going to give this one a 5 out of 5 because of the joy that it is to play. And that's our look at the LoPrinzi AC-AR-C. Thanks so much for joining me for this video. I hope you're having a good day, and I'll be back soon with some more Uke stuff for you.